Good. You're here. Yeah, my name's Alyssa. So you're new here? Have you ever hunted for ghosts before? Okay. That might count. So, before we head to the location, I have to go over some things with you. As you can see, we've got a wall of equipment, and I'd assume from what you told me you're not too familiar with all of it, so we'll go over what each thing does, and some things have changed in the process since I last trained someone, so I'll have to try to remember everything and go over that with you as well. So, first of all, did you bring a journal? You're gonna need to check in with the boss as he provides us with some information here. We have a checklist that we need to go over, so we need to check for all of these things. Are there already ghost noises happening? We haven't even left the facility. Okay. We'll have to have you look over all of these ghost types because honestly I don't have the time to explain them to you, but we need to find at least 3, usually 3. There's one case where you'll have 4 pieces of criteria, but you'll need to have 3 of these checked off to determine which one of these ghosts you are finding. So today you and I are going to look for Jerry Brock, okay? He likes everyone. The address isn't in the book yet. The boss hasn't had a chance to tell us the location's address, so once we have that, that'll end up in the book too. It's just to keep everything organized in case we have to go back to a location for some reason. Because some people have large families and all, you know. So that's pretty much it for the book. There's going to be a page you can insert about each of the ghost types and the criteria that you need for them, as well as their strengths and their weaknesses. Some of them are quite interesting, so you'll just have to be aware of little things that set them apart here and there, especially when they're being difficult and don't want to give you that third piece of information that you're going to need. Is there anywhere you would like to start with all of the stuff on the wall? Okay, I'll go over the easier things first, then we'll get into the fun stuff, I guess. So this is the book. Yes, it's called the book. It's where we're going to potentially and hopefully find ghostwriting, which is one of the criteria in the book. If you would like to take a look at my journal and start noting the things down that you're going to need in there. But yes, usually the boss, his name's Nigel, usually he tells us what we're looking for, like I said, and has the pages already done up for us. So today, because you're new, he didn't get the chance to do that for you. So this is the book. It's usually accompanied by a pencil. This one might be a little hard to see, but by a pencil, not usually mechanical, typically a wooden one. They prefer that, I don't know why. And or a pen. Okay. Some self-explanatory things. There is a crucifix hanging on the wall, too. Those are for protecting the place we are in. It protects in a certain radius, so that way we will not be well, hopefully will not be attacked by the ghost, because some of my fellow colleagues in the past have succumbed to the ghosts. Are you prepared for that? Okay, great. Love someone who likes to live on the edge. This is just a microphone to pick up any paranormal sounds. Now these things are, some of them are extra. We get paid extra money for finding extra stuff that doesn't really tell us what the ghost is, but lets us know there is a spirit there. So those kinds of things will be the sound sensor, which is that. We have a motion sensor, which detects motion in the room. It's become refined and now really only detects the motion of the ghosts, where it was detecting the motion of anyone who walked past it. And of course, we have a camera to document any pieces of evidence. There are occasionally some bones found in these locations, as well as if one of us were to perish, you need to take a picture of that for insurance purposes, but also for evidence that your colleague was taken out by a spirit. So you do get compensation for that. Like I said, a lot of this stuff you get like $5-10 extra. I don't know if, I haven't had a partner in a bit, but I can't remember if it's like 10 or 15 for taking a picture of them. But anyway, we also have the video camera, as you could assume that it is used for taking video evidence. Now, this is one of the things that was recently implemented, where we do get, again, more money, more stuff, more evidence, just all together, money, evidence, by supplying at least a video, but you can do up to 5 videos, as I'm remembering. I believe I just document anything I get. So that would include ghost orbs, motion, a candle being blown out, something being thrown. That is good to document on this. EMF readings, which we'll get into that. And sometimes you can see the spirits as well. That could be documented with the video camera or the regular camera, the picture camera. Okay, so obvious reasons we're using these. Other simple tools we use are headlamps, and we also do have head cams. For the purposes of you being new and everything, you only get a head cam, and as of right now, it doesn't actually document anything on the computer, so it's kind of useless. It's there if you want it, but because I'm a little bit more advanced, it does come with a light built into it, so that way I don't have to carry, you know, with my 3 hands, I don't have to carry the flashlight, which you will need. But there are 2 of these if you would like to use one. Like I said, you will not have a light on it, and it is useless right now. So, where did the flashlight go? Oh, sorry, I know there are the tools on the wall, but I have some in front of me as well. So this is the standard flashlight. I'm not going to turn it on, you know what it does. It also does have an SOS setting, so if you get lost in the house, or if you think you're going to be attacked by the ghost and I will need to find you somewhere in there, just turn on the SOS setting, okay? Because then I'll see the flashing and I'll be like, that's where you are. So, obvious tool here. The ray of light is not as vibrant and as wide as you'd think it is, so you have to be very careful. It's just, again, because you're new, it something that you have to upgrade towards. The boss doesn't like to waste money on tools for the newer people, especially if we don't know if they're going to be here for as long as we, expect them to. So, this. At least you have a light. Main focus here. Let me put this down. We also have smudge sticks, so that is another bonus that you could get. We kind of have to document if you do that, though. It's, for the boss to know that we did it, but we have the smudge sticks here just to cleanse the area. The ghosts can get a little aggressive and a little uptight, so this is to kind of chill them out a little bit. You can see it's been used before. You only get so many uses out of it before it is gone. So make sure you are in the right room doing that, okay? And, we'll move on to sanity pills. Now you can see that these have little faces on them, which means, we're all good. We're all good here. They're supposed to help bring up the overall sanity of the group so that we don't lose our minds in the house with the spirits. Sometimes they like to spook and drive you crazy and throw things at you, and that can be kind of jarring, so we need to balance ourselves out with this. Any questions about anything I showed you so far? Okay, great. Oh, of course we have candles. Now this is to get additional evidence that there even is a ghost in the space. Sometimes it's a school, sometimes it's a small house, sometimes it's a prison. We go all over. So this one is Deadly Nightshade, but that doesn't really matter. It smells great though, if you want to sniff that. Yeah, it does. So we just need a candle of some sort, and if it gets blown out while we're communicating with the ghosts, then we know that somebody did that. This one has nice high walls on the side, so in case there's a breeze, it might not catch the flame. We also have salt. Okay, this is to make piles on the ground. This one is the one that does piles. We have fancier salt that does lines, which, covers more of the ground, so we can see if there's anything disturbed there. It's also good for protection, but we don't really use it for that here. So, yeah, this is mainly just shake it. 3 piles only. Only 3. Don't count my fingers. Only 3. 3 piles of the salt. As, it's not super expensive, but the owner of the home is definitely going to have a lot to clean up if we do any more than 3. Especially if it's a home. But, there's that. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Let me think. Oh, we have a parabolic microphone back there. I don't typically use that myself. But if you like hearing spooky stuff, then you can. Speaking of hearing spooky stuff, where did it go? Oh, our spirit box. Have you ever heard of these? It sweeps radio stations, and the waves or so have something to do with how the ghosts want to communicate with us. And when clear words come through, that's pretty much somebody saying something to us. Now you can ask about the ghost's age, how old it was, what its name was. I don't think they typically answer the name, though. They just kind of give you a garble or so. But when you ask how they've passed, they will, maybe give you something about that. But typically it's like, how old were you? They say old, young, adult, I don't know. It just varies. But yeah, so you just hit the button there to start the sweep, and it'll go, and it's pretty obvious when you get a response because it's a little frightening. But I've been here a while, so it's kind of just like, oh, hey there, you know. Okay, other cool tools I believe I can move on to. The thermometer. Now, I'm probably going to give this to you to use because honestly, it's quite easy. You just point and it gives you the temperature, which is accurate in this truck right now. So we know it's working. You can change it to Celsius if you'd like to. I keep it in Fahrenheit just because that's what I'm familiar with, but I know it's easier to tell if it's below freezing in Celsius. So, because some people don't know the below freezing in Fahrenheit. Anyway, there's that. Additionally, we have the purple lights. Now, these do need batteries. We have not yet put the batteries in these. Let me see about that. And of course, it's gonna shine purple. That's what it does, you know. Let me just make sure it works with the ones from the flashlight here. How many? And so we have 2 of those. You can use anything that I bring in here. I'm not stingy about it. So if you've ever seen somebody mess with one of these before, people like to see if there's weird things on the sheets at hotel rooms with these, but you can actually see fingerprints from the spirits and the ghosts and whatever it may be. I think I put the thing upside down. Couldn't tell. And so yeah, you'll see handprints, fingerprints. Sometimes you can see feet. Mostly we're looking for fingerprints. I don't often ask. Okay, so the purple light works. It might make my hand see through, but the purple light does work. And you can just scan it for different, just scan anything, light switches, doorknobs, handles, sometimes walls, mirrors, things like that. But it will pick up on anything sus. So just know the difference between things, okay? Okay. So there's one for you, one for me if we need it. Otherwise, sometimes we just leave some equipment in the house where we think things are and then go back to it later if we're having a hard time figuring things out. Now, let's move on to the dots projector. This one is fun. It shines dots, and I'll just do it on my hand so you can kind of see. We put that down in any room. This one does need to be held, but there is a little thing here to help push it down. So you can slide that up and it will push that down for you. But you have to do it in the right place. And also, this is quite difficult to just leave. You have to find the right place to prop it, to aim it, so it, you know, goes over the room, because we like to put the cameras in the room, the video cameras in the room, and then aim the dots projector in a way that helps us be able to leave and not stand there and have to stare at everything. Because didn't mention this earlier, but when you stand in the house, and more specifically the room with the ghost in it, your sanity drains like water out of the washing machine. It just drains, okay? But we don't want that because, again, we want the overall sanity to be hunky-dory for everyone. So, there's that. And it's fun. It's fun to, play with and everything, but it is spooky because you will see the silhouettes of figures walking through it. So just make sure you're prepared for that when you use that. Next we have our lovely EMF. I'm going to turn it on. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but it's really easy. You just push the button down and it'll turn on. And you just walk around with this. Typically we are looking for a level 5. If you do get anything less than that, taking a picture of it will give us some sort of sign, but also give us a little extra money. It just means it's not the criteria for the ghost we're actually looking for. So this is really easy. This is my go-to. I normally pick up the EMF in the book when I walk in. That is my go-to stuff. You can pick other things. I will be thrown off if you take my items in first. That's just how it is. So, I think that's everything I need to go over in here. Sometimes we have to look for cursed items, and it's as scary as it sounds because there are mirrors that can harm you, and decks of cards that can harm you, and voodoo dolls that can harm you if you play with them a little too much. The Ouija boards that are around, not the worst thing, honestly, but if you stand around it too long and mess with it, your sanity will drain. So it wouldn't recommend doing it for too long. Just ask the room, pretty much. Ask the room it's in. It'll tell you that. That's really easy when you're having a hard time figuring out where it is, but you do find the Ouija board. There are some other things like a monkey's paw and a music box. Oh, and a summoning circle. I don't see those too often myself, but they're around, and I think you make wishes on the monkey paw. I don't really know. Obviously, you light the summoning circle to bring the ghost to you, which I don't know why you would want to do that because it just goes into attack mode right away, I think. Again, I don't mess with that. The music box, I think it just triggers a hunt, which is when the ghost is pissed off enough at us that it comes at us. So if you want to do that, other times it will appear and make lights flicker and everything, and I just say that that's it spooking us. It mimics a hunt, but it's not technically a hunt, and you can tell if somebody's in the truck, and that happens when it spikes but comes back down, where if it's a hunt, the line will go all the way up to activity 10 and then stay that way for about a minute. So yes, and there are other, if you look behind you, of course, there are other screens that show you where the sound sensors are, where the motion sensors are. I think you can see where your partner is in there. And anything, what else is there? Oh, you can see, like, if you put sound sensors in the house, the activity and the sounds that it does pick up. And I think that's it. If I happen to remember anything when we go in there, I'll tell you, of course, but otherwise, are you prepared for your first hunt? Okay. Well, I'll take that over no. So, go ahead and get strapped into the seat. We're going to head out and go probably to, I'm thinking it's the Willow Street house. I'm not sure if, I'll have have to talk to the boss, but you can sit in the seat. I'll go get that figured out. And we'll leave. Okay? Perfect. Okay, now that we are here, how are you feeling? It is exhilarating, but it's also a little freaky, and I do understand that. So it looks like on the board our tasks are the candle, the salt, and smudging the room. So we have all of that equipment here. Some things I do not have, and the boss knows that, but he likes to ask me to get it, like the evidence, and it doesn't work that way. So, like I said, I like to take in the ghost writing book and the EMF to start. If there's anything you would like to take in, typically we would like to start with the evidence equipment that we need to collect the evidence. So you could take in the dots, you could take in a video camera. That helps because then when we come out we can check on the screen in the truck to see what exactly is going on in the room once we've found it, so that way we don't, again, have to hang around in it. We can just peek in occasionally. And this ghost does like everyone, from what I remember on the paper, which means it will act up around all of us. Sometimes it only likes a single person and will really antagonize that one individual. So I've got my things, the head cam. Oh, and I can take in a third thing. I'll take the camera. So like I said, you do have 3 hands, but you will need one for the flashlight, so you need to take that with you. I realize now I never put it back together. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, here you go. It was giving me trouble. I'm going to go in and start putting everything down. We do need to find the room. Make sure any equipment you take that needs to be turned on is turned on, because I have had cases where I've forgotten to turn it on and I've walked the whole house and wondered why nothing happened. So I'll go do that. The key is normally hanging by the door, and then, you know, once we have all of our equipment and evidence figured out, we hit that keypad by the door and it closes and lets us leave. So I will go place this stuff inside and I will see you there. Okay, so it appears like it's in the living room. There's some things thrown, but not getting any readings on here, so that must have happened before we even got in this room. Okay. And I'll place this on the ground and my book, open it to an unused page. Just gonna place this on the ground for now. And the pencil for it to write with. Oh, good, you made it inside. Okay, so you brought your flashlight, the dots, okay. All right, that'll work. The purple light, yeah. Okay, so what you can do with those is, like I said, you do have to like maneuver this thing over it to hold it down, but if you place it just maybe in the corner there, we'll get the camera. And there are tripods on the wall. I do have those. If you were to go on a ghost hunt by yourself, then you might not have the tripods, because again, that is something that you do get rewarded or awarded once you know, get to a certain level. So just a little tidbit there. So yeah, if you can just place this over in the corner, I will or you can, depending on who wants to go back out to get more stuff, we can put the camera about maybe here and aim it this way. See what we've got going on. The EMF is on. If you do hear any noises from that, we need to check it, of course, but okay, it got up to a 3. It got up to a 3. Is somebody in here with me? Is somebody here? Come on, I saw you doing it. Is somebody here? Is anyone in here with us? So yeah, that's how that'll go. It didn't make a sound. Sometimes it does when it stays at a 5. I will leave this camera inside in case we, catch it while it's doing something. And we'll take a picture of that. You just turn it on with the on-off, of course. And it's just adjusting. So yeah, this will be good for taking all kinds of pictures of evidence. And oh, you found the bone? Really? How could I have missed it? I walked over. You picked it up? Okay, well you have to be careful with that, because when you pick it up, I'm not sure if, we can always take pictures of it when it's been moved from its place. So, yeah, just let me see. Oh. Okay, it's teeth and 2 small bones. That's interesting. I'll try to take a picture of it, but I'm not sure what'll happen here. Let's see. We'll find out later what happens with that. I'm going to turn the camera off for now just to save the battery on it. Yeah, you should take these and put them back in the truck if you're going to go back. What I would recommend is grabbing the thermometer, because that will help us know the temperature of the room. Of course, that is important as it is part of the criteria. So, yeah, I'm not sure if this EMF 5 was a fluke or if it was serious or not, because we do want it to be more of a solid, where it just flashed at me. So I'm not going to count that as evidence in my book unless I see it confirm itself again. So, a lot of the time the ghostwriting won't happen in front of you. It can, but it won't. Ghost orbs. We didn't really talk about that because we didn't have it to be an example. But with the camera, that's why the cameras are important. When you prop them up, they will see a good majority of the space that the ghost may be in. And you'll see these floating little things go up and potentially back down. They float in a different pattern as compared to dust, where it will maybe go up but come right back down, and you can kind of tell the difference. It's more of a puff look, like if you've ever had those pom-pom kind of things for arts and crafts. I would describe it more as like one of those kind of delicately floating through the air instead of a piece of dust, which may go like that and just fall in a consistent pattern. Ghost orbs can do like some interesting movements, and I have caught them on videos myself in the past, so I do know what they look like if you have any questions about confirmation there. I haven't noticed the EMF do anything else since. It's doing something, so I think the ghost is potentially messing with something in the room that we may not be noticing right now. Okay. Well, I'm just going to leave that on the floor and we're going to wait to see what happens there. And it will go off if it's next to the book and the book, you know, has something happening over here. So let's stop back in the truck and grab more tools. Unless you want to stay here by yourself, I can come right back. But again, the longer we stay in here, the more of our sanity is going to be drained. And typically we have, like, depending on how difficult the house is, like 2 to 5 minutes before it starts getting nuts in here. So we should probably go check our sanity, actually. That is documented on the television screens as well. So let's go grab some of the other tools we don't yet have in here. I'm thinking I'll put the salt down and maybe bring in the candle and see if we can get those things out of the way. And when you are carrying these things, you can sometimes get an additional hand for the matches. I'm not sure that's always the case, but that does take up a hand. So you can only carry so much at a time. I'll take these things. If you would like to take the motion sensor, maybe the sound sensor, and the video camera like we talked about. If you put the camera on the tripod, that needs to stay in the hand that is going to be walking in the house. So just keep that in mind. You can't swap through that. If you do decide to swap things, you have to put it down. Okay, all right. Yes, so any questions? Great. Okay, I'll go get these things started in there, and you can just show up in there when you're ready. Sanity looks okay so far, by the way. Okay. All right, I have the salt put on the floor, so please watch where you're stepping. Do not step in it. That will kind of mess with our results here. These matches do sometimes give me a hard time, so just be prepared for that. I might be fighting with this for a bit. Yeah, if you want to keep looking around the house, seeing if that cursed object is around, because I know that we were told there is one. So if you want to keep your eyes peeled for that, and just, you know, keep watching the equipment, set up the camera about over here, like I said, facing that way. We'll see the dots if anything's moving in it, okay? And ghost orbs, yes, it'll catch all of them at the same time if it's a thing. That one a lot smoother than it normally does. Okay, I'll just light this candle and I'll set it down on the floor. Again, be wary of this. Do not knock it over. I'll put it over here. And we just have to pay attention if the light goes out. Okay, I'm going to use the... didn't bring that in. Alright, let's see if we've got anything going on. Oh, it's writing in the book. I need the camera. Okay. I'm gonna miss the whole thing. There we go. Okay, let's see what it wrote. Hey, check this out. It wants us to leave. Great. I did get a picture of it writing, though. Just leave that there for now. Nothing from the EMF since then. Remember in your book to document before we forget, because sometimes I tend to forget even the things I witnessed. We want to mark off ghostwriting. And let's see. Okay, yeah, I would take the UV light and walk around. You found... Oh, I think I forgot to mention the tarot deck. Did you pull cards from it? Okay, we just have to be careful. Could you tell what card it was? Let me see them. This is the one you pulled. Okay, this one seems kind of positive. It might have actually helped our sanity. Sometimes they do that. But let's not pull any more of these, okay? Because there are more bad in here than good. And sometimes it's an insta-death, so don't do that. Don't do that at all. Put this back in here. Yeah, let's not play with that. Again, if you take a picture of it, which I'll let you do that, so you can, get the experience with it. Take a picture of it. We do get points for that. Extra money and everything, which we want, of course. Okay, good. Yeah, that should work. And typically when we get back into the truck, we can see the quality of the videos, the pictures, any sound stuff even. And if it doesn't look that great, or there's partial of something, then we won't get the money for that. So you want to make sure they're good, clear pictures. So you can take this back to the truck. That is fine. Maybe we should go back to the truck just to pick up the last few things. I know we need the spirit box, and you can always put in an extra camera. Did you bring in the motion sensors and stuff? Okay. So, yeah, there's only a few things we need, but let's check the sanity. All right. It looks like we do need to take these, you more specifically. So, all you do is just... Good. Okay. And we do each get 2 of those. The more people who are here, you would then get 1. If there's 4, somebody would get lucky and get 2. It would usually be the weaker of all of us, but because there's only 2 of us, we get 2. We should bring in the smudge stick. Yes, the smudge stick and potentially the other UV light, just so that both of us can kind of walk around and look. I know that living room is kind of large, so let's do that. I've got the spirit box. You can get the other UV and yeah, the smudge stick. Okay, let's go in. Is anyone here with us? How old are you? When did you die? Were you old? Oh, okay. So that counts then as our spirit box. So let's mark that in the journal. And again, typically you don't want to be marking the journal in the house. Especially if you were on your own. Spirit box. We're looking for one more thing. Now, as you get better at this, you will know which ghosts won't be available to you anymore with what you narrow down, because some things don't work with other things, and it's easier to tell that way. So, Yeah, if you just want to keep checking for stuff. We didn't have freezing temperatures. Okay. All right. Yeah, I would just say just walk around with the UV light. And maybe, oh, we should check for the dots and the orbs. I always forget to do that until like I'm really stuck with the things. That is something you can also check for those things. The dots you should be able to see with your naked eye, and then the orbs you can actually carry around the cameras. Here, let's take this one because we're inside. And you can walk around and look at the tiny display here. And you can see them on here. If it's happening, of course. So, if you just want to walk around with this, you can turn on the dark mode, night mode setting. The one that makes the screen green. And walk around with that. I will light the smudge stick so we can make sure that we get that. Again, I'm gonna have to fight with the matches. Where did they go? Oh, they're here. Sometimes the spirits throw them. It's not the safest thing, but it is what it is. So this one is specifically cedar. We just get whatever we get. This one does smell nice though, but I think I am allergic to it, so. I like how I said I struggled with these and then I've been able to light them no problem. And if you've never lit one of these before, you just want it to start smoking, it can catch fire. But you really just want it to be doing this. So then you can walk around and kind of cleanse the area. It does only last for so long. As you can see, it went out, so we'll have to make sure it actually worked. But that's how that works. Just put that down now. Like I said, you only get so many uses out of that as well. So that's looking good. Anything with the UV? Oh, yes, okay. Yes, that is a fingerprint. You did find one. Very good. Okay. Yeah, we'll mark that in the book and we should have our ghost. I think it's getting a little agitated and that we've been in here for a while, so maybe we should go do that in the truck. So let's pick up some things and... Oh. Okay, it threw this at me. Yeah, I've noticed things being tossed around the room occasionally. Nothing aggressive like this, but this has been thrown at my face. So, yeah, it's definitely a poltergeist. If you've not dealt with those, they throw things. So, let's go back to the truck. Typically, we can abandon our items in here, and they do end up back at the facility, but I think the boss comes and gets the things if we've just run off scared. So let's go back to the truck before we do this. Okay, so in your book you should have ghostwriting, spirit box, and the ultraviolet. Sometimes it's marked as fingerprints, other times it's ultraviolet. Nowadays it should be ultraviolet, but which means that would be the poltergeist in our book, so you just want to circle that and confirm that is a poltergeist. Down there. And his name, yeah, was Jerry. We didn't have to call him by name, but if we had to go back in for any reason, which actually we didn't check if the candle was blown out, so we should do that. And I guess while we're in here, we can pick up some things, but just start gathering them. If you can carry them in your 3 hands, like whatever you think the most important thing is. And I'll check the light real quick. Okay, so the candle was blown out. It's still working on this, but we can confirm that the camera is in here. Oh, well, I don't think taking a picture of it will matter. It really needed to be done on the video camera, but we weren't recording, so I'll just see if he'll take this. He might not believe me. Okay, well, yeah, anything you think we should take with us, we should get out of here quite quickly, because we don't want to dilly-dally now that we know what it is, and the fact that it actually threw something at my face, so it could try to hunt us any moment. I'm surprised you lived, honestly, because my last partner, who I trained years ago, very noob-like, very noob, and just perished quite quickly, I would say. But yeah, so just gather up the items and we'll go. Oh, okay, something's happening on the EMF again. We should get out of here. Let's turn these things off. I've got some items. All right, well, you made it through your first ghost hunt, and I will be letting the boss know this. Of course, you'll be back at the place with me, but you handled everything quite well. Did you see things moving in the home? Yeah. Okay, and that didn't freak you out too much? Okay, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we were expecting something, right? So, those 3 things, poltergeist, good, everything looks good there. What we want to do now is close up the truck and we will head home. Do you have any questions now that you've done this? Yes, we should get some bonuses for finding the bone, and then the deck, the tarot deck, the pictures, and then of course we'll be paid for the discovery anyway. So yeah, it was a good time working with you. We didn't see a lot of the crazy things that happen. It didn't really try to flicker any lights at us, at least me. Sometimes if you enter other rooms it might do it there, but I didn't see anything personally that was that scary, because it's more of an in and out deal. But it was a pleasure working with you, and we could potentially be a good team if you'd like to stick around and work with me. Otherwise, you can dabble with the other employees of the ghost hunting. So yeah, you can talk to Nigel about that if you'd like, but I will be leaving you a good review. Okay, well, you can head home now. That was it. We typically only try to do 1 at a time, otherwise we'll be really drained. So, all right. Again, it was great working with you, and I'll see you around.